A billionaire wanted to launder 1 trillion rupees in dirty money, so he found a few homeless beggars on the street. 4 beggars were brought into his luxurious mansion. They were served clean, delicious meals. Someone even taught them how to brush their teeth. They were shown how to write their own names. The 4 of them thought they had met a kind-hearted man, but it was nothing more than a trap designed for money laundering. The billionaire gave them new IDs and bank accounts. Soon, companies were registered overseas under their names. The beggars had no idea what was really going on. No one ever told them the truth. To the billionaire, they were just disposable pawns. And behind this scheme was an even darker secret. The billionaire had gained his fortune through ruthless means. He had once burned more than 1,000 people alive on a ship. That ship had been drilling deep in the Bay of Bengal. Even at night, the crew worked tirelessly without rest. After years of exhausting exploration, they finally struck oil. The field contained over 14 trillion cubic meters of crude. It was enough to make their country completely independent of imports. The engineers immediately reported the discovery to their superiors. Jack, the man who practically controlled the nation's commerce, got the news first. He ordered the engineers to keep the discovery secret. Then he took his private helicopter to Delhi. Late that night, he arrived at a heavily guarded mansion. There, he met secretly with a high-ranking government official named George. When Jack revealed the size of the oil reserve, George was stunned. But after the shock, he questioned why Jack had learned about it before him. Jack didn't bother to hide his true motive. He didn't just want the first scoop. He wanted control of the entire oil field. George didn't think there was much to discuss. With the national election approaching, he saw this as the perfect chance. Announcing the discovery could instantly boost the government's reputation. But Jack had a different plan in mind. He knew that if the government announced it directly, the people would see it as their right, not as a gift from their leaders. But if he bought the rights first and then gave it back through subsidies, the people would believe they owed their prosperity to him. That illusion would make the government's gains far greater than a simple public announcement. Jack promised that if he got full control of the resources, he could guarantee George's election victory and even secure his next term. To ensure nothing went wrong, Jack came up with a ruthless plan. That night, he arranged an explosion on the offshore drilling platform. It would wipe out everyone who knew the truth. George hesitated, reminding him there were thousands of workers on the rig. But Jack coldly calculated that in a country of 1.4 billion people, 1,000 missing lives would barely cause a ripple. He said he would personally handle the media and public outrage. Their deal was sealed that night. A team of mercenaries infiltrated the drilling platform. They planted explosives in every corner. The engineers who had just discovered their nation's energy treasure never had the chance to share the good news with their families. They sank forever into the dark sea. Over 1,000 lives were lost in that meticulously planned disaster. Days later, Jack's father learned of the tragedy and called it far too risky. But Jack was convinced this was his only path to becoming the richest man in the world within a few years. To him, power was prestige, and power could hide any danger. At the official press conference, George stood before the media with a solemn face. He announced that the offshore drilling project was terminated due to an accident. He also declared that the government would launch an investigation and provide 200,000 rupees in compensation to each victim's family. But behind the cameras, the real deal had just begun. George handed Jack a list of bribes. The total amount reached 1 trillion rupees. Half of it had to move as black money. The other half would be disguised as legal funds. Only when the money was fully transferred would the Bay of Bengal's oil fields officially belong to Jack.